Wait, what?
The objective is to inspire.
This is speech 10, so.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
speech 10.
She's an easy.
What?
Okay, she is speech 10.
Okay.
Do I go?
Yeah.
It's impossible to live without failing at something. Unless you've lived so cautiously, you might as well have not lived at all. It's a quote said by J.K. Rowling, a woman who inspired me to persevere. It all started when I finished The Deathly Hallows, one of the last books in the Harry Potter series, and I was so interested, I decided to look up who the author was, J.K. Rowling. Her background was so interesting because so many bad things happened, yet she kept going, and now she's a successful author. In 1990, Rowling moved to Portugal to teach English at a Portuguese school. There, she met a Portuguese journalist named Jorge Orontes, who soon became her husband. In 1993, the couple had a child named Jessica. A couple years later, Rowling divorced her husband and moved to Edinburgh with her daughter to live with her sister. During this phase, Rowling went through extreme depression. She was living off of food stamps because she had lost her job, and if it wasn't for her sister, she would have been homeless. She'd also recently divorced too, which added an extra difficulty. On top of that, which was the biggest blow of all, her mother had died. Her mother had been her best supporter and her best friend. While waiting for a 4-hour delayed train, an idea hit her. And this idea was the birth of the Harry Potter series. After she wrote her book, The Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, she had another issue popped up. She had to find a publisher that would accept her novel. After being rejected multiple times, she kept going until she found one publisher that accepted. And it's a good thing the publisher did, because the Harry Potter series was a huge success and was at the top of the New York Times bestseller. Whenever we think of inspiration, we don't always have to think of an adult. There are many child inspirations as well. One of them I'm going to be talking about today as well. And she started younger than me. She started inspiring people at the age of my sister, 6 years old and in kindergarten. And her name is Ruby Bridges. In her black school, they were offering everyone to take a test, and if they got higher than a score, then they would be able to go to a white school which had higher educational demands. At first, her father wasn't going to let her take the test. It'll cause problems afterward, he said. But her mother, on the other hand, disagreed. It'll be a great educational opportunity, she claimed. Ruby and her mother convinced her father that taking the test would be a good opportunity for Ruby. And it's a good thing she did take the test, because she passed with flying colors. Even though her school would be 5 blocks extra away, she still said that she would want to go. On her first day, she was escorted by 4 guards and her parents. Upon entering the school, she was very disappointed. She was welcomed by rotten tomatoes and signs that said, "You don't belong here, Ruby," or "This is an all-white school." Ruby had to spend the first day in the principal's office, learning, and she was isolated from the rest of the students. The next day, the principal asked for a teacher that would be willing to accept Ruby and take her in their class. All of the teachers backed out, except for one, Miss Henry, who had recently flown down from Boston and got a job at the school. Upon hearing these news, many parents were upset and took their children out of her class. Ruby was alone with Miss Henry in that room, and they were the only 2 people there for the whole year. She had to eat lunch in that room all alone, and she studied in that room alone. And whenever she had to go to the bathroom, she was escorted by the 4 guards. During this time, Ruby too, like Rowling, faced depression. She stopped eating her lunches altogether and was storing them in a storage closet, which the janitor soon found. She also had to see a child therapist twice a week, whether at school or at home. Ruby grew up to be a civil rights activist. And she helps children get the education, get better education. In conclusion, it's important to have an inspirational figure because they can help you persevere or do what you think that's amazing that they did. It also can bring you confidence because they were once an ordinary person too. And if they can do it, you can do it as well.
Very